So at the end of privacy engineering series, let's talk of the audit trailing and logging and the importance of these things when it comes to compliance. Welcome to my YouTube channel where you daily see new content on data privacy, and as I said, let's talk about the audit trails and logging with respect to privacy compliance and their relevance. We are talking about it because it is not always that I say that I do. I have to prove that I am doing what I am saying. That's what audit is, right? Apart from that, what about any issue that comes up? How do I handle it then? How do I even troubleshoot? Forget about whether regulators are there, or forget about whether the impacted party is questioning it. How do I check whether the things were proper or not? How are the things? How are they being handled? That's the reason why we are talking about this important factor. Compliance needs proof. Basic issues. The logs need to show what was done, by whom, and when. The DPDP Act requires accountability. Prove that you are accountable. Prove that you have done things the way they are supposed to be done. Result or the outcome might not be as anticipated, but at least you are doing the right things. You need to demonstrate that. And audits and logging are not just a security matter, not just a software setting, they are an important compliance pillar. What it exactly is, technical guys know, they do a lot of auditing and logging. For us, any error that comes in, small or large, we need to see what went wrong. How do we see that? Through the logs. And now when we are talking of preventing breach, how do we know that who logged in? Who was there in the system when the incident happened? What was he doing? You need a trail of events happening, which is the audit trail and the logging system. So audit trail is a system generated record of the events happening, events that include access, events that include changes. The audit logs happens with every software. They include information like user ID, timestamp, activity that was being done, and the systems that got impacted. They help trace the activities being done and the movement of data across system, and help in a lot in troubleshooting of the issues. Logging is a passive system. It happens online though, but you don't check logs online until you are in a trouble. Logs is more of a passive record to see what was happening in the system, right? Whereas monitoring is the actual monitoring. Someone is watching there. Someone is looking at the dashboard. The dashboard is giving red signals. That is what is monitoring. Logging, for example, you see the CCTV footage to find out who was traveling or walking around the corridor. Whereas monitoring, someone watching the screen at that point of time to see who is walking around the corridor. The relevance with respect to the DPDP Act. Well, DPDP Act said we need consent. You also need a proof to show that you got the consent, you obtained it, someone withdrew it. So you need the proof for that. Someone put in a request, user rights. How would you prove he did put in a request? How do you prove through logs that no request actually came in? More so, how do you prove that you honored the request? Right? So all the possibilities. Breach response timeline for incident management. How would you know? You'll know that when you record the time at which the breach happened and at the time when the breach was over. Now this is breach, so there is no continuous activity, but if there is, hypothetically saying, a technical gap that has come up and there is a continuous activity happening in the system, that means the moment the continuous activity log is over, incident or breach is over, and you can log the breach response time accordingly. Logs are retained, logs are detailed. These logs confirm, the logs of retention and deletion confirm that these respective activities were performed at a particular time, at particular folder, this system, this much amount of time, this much amount of data. Right? For example, HR, the files are accessed only by authorized users. For example, cloud backup logs, they indicate that encrypted data is being deleted. What should you do next? You should check, are you logging things? Are audits actually happening? Do you check the trails of what is happening in your system? That's an important thing. Please check that. Once you check that, you also need to then get into details that we are talking of privacy. So, what privacy events should have been logged or should be logged here? Ensure that these logs that you have been collecting are tamper proof. They should also be encrypted and kept under role based access control, stored safely, and link logs with your consent management system. Logging of consent management is very important with respect to privacy, with respect to DPDP. Most important part, at the end of every aspect, train your teams to understand the relevance of these logs, loggings, and tracking systems. So that's about your logging and audit trail system with respect to privacy and with respect to DPDP Act. I hope you like the content of this video. Tomorrow we'll wrap up all the things that we learned under this playlist before we move on to the advanced privacy engineering for startups. Please subscribe to my channel, stay tuned, and share your feedback in the comment section. Thank you.